This is just an ordinary mushroom island. Well, at least it used to be, because over the course of the past year, as we built our numerous large farms here, it became whatever this is right here. But all that's about to change today, because in this video we're transforming this old mushroom island into a beautiful tropical paradise island with a huge volcano, palm trees, a custom jungle village, a pirate ship, treasure cave, a lighthouse, lots of tropical animals, and much, much more. And so I again gathered my team of 20 Minecraft players, so all that shouldn't take too long, right? And the first thing we're gonna do here is finally clean everything up. There's a lot of stuff laying around here. Over a year now, we've transformed this mushroom island from the beginning into this. And there's tons of stuff here. Some area where we planted mushrooms, some weird-ass zigzag lines, the furnace wall, shulkers. So we're gonna have to clean all that up now. That also includes some terraforming, and we also got to remove some of the broken farms that are still here. Yo, everything's completely clean. Bro, it already looks so much better like this. Since the shape of the island still leaves a little to be desired, and a large volcano is planned for this area later, we'll first use some dirt blocks to create a new outline that'll give our island a slightly nicer and rounder shape. Alright, I don't know if expanding the island was such a good idea, but see, it looks way much better if it's not so long and narrow. We also made a small indentation for a bay on the island where ocean water will flow in, and which will later become one of the main gathering places for all of the animals that are on the island. Yeah, I gotta say, I think it's a good idea. It just now feels a lot more alive. We can do something pretty cool with this later. Cool. Okay, now for a slightly less fun task. We're gonna have to remove all the stone because it's all supposed to be water here later, and that means the stone has to go. And why is there no beacon here? Oh my god. So for now, just take everything down like I outlined it, and then we can flood it with water later on. Man, I think projects like this are so awesome, man. Because you really realize how overpowered we actually are, bro. We never have to worry about whether we have enough rockets, or whether we need netherite picks. Bro, we got loads of shulkers of everything. We don't even have all those normal struggles anymore. It's pretty nice. And with stuff like this, you can really see all the progress. Okay, so that's the general shape. I think that's fine. Height 37. And now we can really go ahead and get started with the terrain on the island. And for the terrain, I made the following plan. We're building a huge volcano over the super smelter and the cobble gen with a small cave at the edge, since I definitely want to build a treasure cave to go with the pirate ship we're also building. The bay will have large jagged rocks all around the outside, and a small beach area inside which will connect to the large jungle on the island. And finally, of course, there'll be big beaches to the left and right of the island, and next to the volcano, just like with the bay, we'll also have larger rocks to create a transition to the ocean. And this is just the basic landscape. Everything else like trees, palms, plants, structures, and all that other stuff we'll build on the island later once we finished all the basics. And of course, we can now start and manually build these hills and create the terrain, but that would take a pretty long time on such a large island and probably wouldn't look that good. So we're not doing that. I've got a better idea. We'll do it the same way we do all our other projects, using Axiom. And the Axiom mod, I'm not sure if it will really work, but I think we can scan everything and then simply shape the entire landscape on a separate world with Axiom in a way that would be pretty much impossible to do by hand. That way we can make everything really nice and smooth. So I'm gonna scan everything and then I'm gonna switch to a separate world. So this is the island pasted in exactly as we have it on our SMP server. And now we can completely rebuild the terrain here, and after that we'll have a schematic later on which we can use to recreate all of this exactly. And here in Axiom, there are some pretty cool tools that we can use to create the terrain. I never used them before, so it might not look perfect right away. There's something like an elevation tool, and then we can just draw on it. Boom, boom, boom. and then we'll have it right there. And that'll take forever to build that in survival mode. In survival mode, but also in creative with the Axiom mod, this shouldn't be underestimated, especially if you've never done anything like this before. It almost feels like throwing someone who's dabbled a bit in Play-Doh into a blender and saying, "Yo, let's model the Eiffel Tower." Okay, maybe not like that. But it did take me quite a while to get it looking halfway decent, and the volcano in particular was the real challenge. I started drawing lines all over the mountains, which I afterwards smoothed out repeatedly to create a more wrinkled and rougher texture. It didn't work out that well at first, but the more lines I added, the better it got, until it finally looked like this. May I present our volcano, which is finally finished, I'd say, in its basic form. That means we're not going to be touching this part again for now. At least not until we're ready to add all the textures, and then we can focus on making the rest of the island a little bit nicer. I definitely want to take another look at these rocks here. Just added them quickly. I want to add some more rocks back here, and I also want to smooth out a couple more things in general. Yeah, I'm really pumped to build all this. So I spent another 2 days finishing the rest of the island's terrain. For the regular rocks, I used this dodecahedron shape. And for the peaks, I used a regular cone, which I then made a little bit less refined so it wouldn't look too perfect. And with that, the island is basically finished, and it's already looking pretty solid. So now we can go ahead and start with the textures, but everything is still going to be quite simple because we'll naturally do all the detailed stuff afterwards in survival. So we're just talking basic landscape. Alright, everything is now colored and marked. And this is our island. We're finished. That was it, guys. We're gonna build this very island on our SMP. Everything is completely marked, and we can now select all these blocks individually. That's why we did all this. It also took quite a while to paint all these rocks, but all for the simple reason that we can now just use the magic select tool, and then I can just go ahead like this. And then you can see I automatically selected all of these areas. And now with one click, we can texture everything so that even shadows and stuff like that are cast correctly on the island. Super simple. Let me just show you an example. We can now take a gradient here. Now I got a gold gradient. Player position, meaning where I am right now is the sun. And now just click on auto shade, bam. So here you saw it. With a single click, we have completely textured rocks. But of course, we gotta make it look a lot better. Man, this is gonna be sick. It makes such a huge difference and saves an incredible amount of work, which is why we're doing it with Axiom on a separate world, because doing all of this in survival would be absolutely extensive. We're definitely still gonna have plenty of fun in survival later with all the details. And for the different areas on the island, we naturally need separate gradients, which I then prepared right away. With these, I could easily create the rock textures, the volcano, the beach, the jungle area, and the volcano finally got its lava, where we used a little trickery with lots of lanterns on the lava so that it glows properly with the shaders. Look at this, the difference. And with that, we've now finished designing the terrain on our island, and we're now going to scan everything with Latmedica so we can build it exactly as it is in survival. So, after we've farmed all of these blocks, and that's really just the beginning. We're back again in survival mode, and we got a gigantic material list. 420,000 blocks on our island alone, just for the terrain. And it's all been made hollow at the end, so that means we only place the blocks we can actually see. So we have a whole lot of stone, sand, sandstone, black stone, and deep slate here, and it's definitely gonna take quite a while to get it all. And to keep track of everything, we're first gonna build a small storage area where we can sort all the blocks in the end. And we're gonna place said storage right here. And in this block storage area we just built, we can see every single item we're gonna need, every single block, all sorted in order. We're gonna need stone the most, and brown concrete the least. We essentially just built a little miniature island right here. And here on this wall, we can see again which items we're gonna need, all listed. So when we finish something, we can always remove the sign. And so the wall is gonna gradually get emptier, while our storage is gonna get fuller. And the first item we're gonna need are stone blocks, 89,270. And let's see how much cobblestone is left here. Oh my god, I think there's so much in here. Okay. Bro, what? That's 840,000 cobblestone. Bro, we don't even need 100k. Then let's just grab it and take it to our super smelter, which we also have right here. And also, these two things we're using right now to get the first item will later be inside our volcano. So our island does have a small purpose and actually fits in quite well with the volcano. All right, here we have our beautiful device. Put it in here, the oven's gonna suck it up. Out comes the first. A whole shulker of clean stone right away, and now every 10 seconds a shulker comes in here. And while this one's running, we could actually take care of the next item. 57,000 sand. Okay, sand's also easy because we got the gravity duper. That means we could basically do the next two right away. But deep slate, that's gonna take a bit more work. Please don't be broken. So there's a high chance this thing's actually broken and I'll have to go farm the sand manually. No. Oh man. And what do you say, guys? You think this looks like a working gravity duper? Think this still works? I think it's fine. It's how it's supposed to look, right? Luckily, we produced enough sand before that we could just take from the chests at the end. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough for the 46,000 smooth sandstone, so we had to farm manually in the desert, which at least doesn't take too long. Let's go. Everything in, everything in. Wait, where's the stone? Oh, here. Alright, great. Stone is also done. Then let's take it with us and put it back into our storage. And the whole sandstone's pretty much done too. We could actually cross that off the list too. And then we're going to continue with deep slate tiles. 30,000. We're not going to get that easily. We're going to have to mine a lot manually with a pickaxe. You can already see we got a couple more deep slate stuff than the deep slate tiles. 10,000 cracked deep slate bricks, 10,000 cobbled deep slates are already 50,000. Deep slate bricks, 3,400. Polished deep slate, so let's say 60,000 deep slate is what we need right now. That's actually alright. And right here is the location where we're gonna farm all the deep slate. As you can see, we already mined quite a lot. We did that for the city's sewer system back then. We're here at the overworld base right now. And that was 500,000 deep slate that we mined back then. And we had a little idea that we at least wanted to give a try. Of course, we could farm the blocks manually by hand again, but Valley had the idea to maybe do it with a wither. So we just sounds so stupid, it's probably not gonna work. So we'll just dig a tunnel like this and then spawn a wither at the very end, and then the wither just keeps flying in my direction, destroying all these blocks, and then we can collect everything. We can at least give it a try. I'm spawning the wither. It kind of feels wrong spawning a wither next to our mega base. Let's go. Let's see if it works. Fail. Oh yeah. Now he's breaking the blocks. And I'm hitting him all the time. With my hand, hardly damaging him. Hello? I still need to figure out the right tactics. Yo, wait, where's he going? Oh wait, maybe maybe he has to be in that other mode. Like that melee mode, you know? Gotta be careful I don't die. See, yeah, now he's in that mode. Now I can hit him a lot better. Could be pretty good. He is making a pretty big tunnel. Dude, it's going good, huh? Look at it. It's actually working quite well. Alright, let me kill him real quick. Yeah, okay, alright. We actually got a lot out of it. I think it's faster. You gotta imagine what would happen if everyone had a wither. If we had lots and lots of tunnels right next to each other, everybody had a wither, that'd be sick. Because look, that was 4x3 blocks instantly now. We're gonna have to fill all these 35 shulker boxes. Now, everybody can just grab themselves a tunnel and just place a wither at the end. And now dig 500 blocks in that direction, and then you can use the wither for a really, really long time. I'm gonna give him a cool name too. Now it's called Slave in the Hotbar, in the boss bar. I'm gonna put him down to Half-Life for now. And it's actually kind of convenient to name it. Then you can see whose wither is whose. Alright. So just hit him, and he's gonna do the work. And if you do it correctly, you won't even get hit by him. I just have to finish in time so I can collect all the items. Oh, he's destroying the gravel. Let's go. Wither versus gravel. I think I'm gonna have to kill him. I'm scared the items are gonna despawn. Now, I'm curious to see how much deep slate stuff we got. Okay. Look at this, bro. I almost got a whole shulker out of here. And I think the Wither even destroyed a couple of items at the beginning because I messed up. So it is hot. So we need 35 shulkers and 10 of us are working on it right now. So that's super fast. Bro, this is how you farm deep slate with style. Call him apprentice. Oh no, oh my god, I killed him. Well, alright, the tunnel was almost over anyways. Yeah, almost an entire shulker again. This time I gotta be careful that I don't kill the Wither. But look, already pro at this. This guy didn't hit me once yet. I straight up perfected it. The method. I'm a true master at what I do. A professional Wither whisperer. That went super fast. A couple of hours and the 35 shulkers are full. And with that, we farmed all the deep slate we're gonna need for the island. Now we can craft all the deep slate variations from it and then sort them into our storage. And with that, the deep slate is finished. Next up is mud. Now I can already tell you it's gonna be incredibly easy because we already have a shit ton of that in our clay farm. And here you can see it, we still got a whole lot of mud. And with that, mud is checked off. And indeed, there still are quite a few blocks on the list we can get through our farms. That is, if they weren't taken apart. So I hope it's not... Wait, hold on. Huh? What? Where's the... bone meal farm? Bro, dude, who dismantled the entire bone meal farm? This was a huge ass thing. Why? Huh? We starting to take apart random farms now? But luckily, places like our old city storage help us handle situations like this. There's still a whole lot of items left over from back then. Like the blackstone we need from the piglin bartering farm. Alright, so next up is chiseled tuff. You can already see the regular tuff next. So in total, it's 25,000 tuff. Okay guys, I'm gonna need your help again. Yo, what are you guys doing down here? Bro, they're just down here building an underground base. Bro, I've never seen these guys so enthusiastic at work. What are you guys doing down there? Get up here. No, we're staying down here. Come up into the daylight. Come out of your cave. I already know exactly how we're gonna handle the tuff. We farmed deep slate, and there was tuff down there in the tunnels too. So let's go down there again. I think we can farm a whole lot of tuff there already. And in some of the tunnels, there are a bunch of places where there's a really high concentration of tuff. And the good thing is we also have the beacon effects here. That means we don't even have to place a beacon down here. And with haste 2, we can simply insta-mine all the tuff. And when we farmed all of this, we're probably gonna have a bunch already. Yeah, I don't know how we could even get it any faster than like this. Okay, let's go back real quick to get the 15-second haste, and then back here, and just gotta be quick. So how do we make chiseled tuff? Think polished tuff, then slap on top of each other, right? No, you don't craft them like that? Bruh, I just took all of our tuff and made them into polished tuff slabs. Man, bro, I thought it was polished, because look, this block looks polished, doesn't it? Alright, then we're gonna need a little bit more tuff. That's what I call a real crafting disaster. We can basically throw them away. Fortunately, after this minor setback, things progressed much faster, as we either still had most of the blocks in some chests, or just needed to craft them. Gnu also set up a nice public storage area in our mega base room, and she's always very happy when we take blocks from her. For smooth basalt, we have our basalt generator. We could easily farm grass blocks in the plains biome, and then Main Gopher completely unexpectedly tragically died from fall damage. For the wool blocks, we have our huge 200,000 item wool farm from the last video. For the terracotta blocks, the clay farm. For the shroomlights, the netherwood farm. The others went ahead to rebuild the gravity duper for all the concrete, and blew themselves up doing it. And we still had all the rest of the items in some chests, except for the last and by far the most difficult item we've ever farmed. 13 birch logs. Man, I don't know if I can farm 13 birch logs now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13. Wow, we did it. These 13 debarked birch logs will definitely be very, very important on our island. Without them, things wouldn't look nearly as good. The most important item, debark. Our storage is filled up. We should have everything now. and we can finally start building the terrain. As you can see, it's already pasted in, the schematic is already in the right place, and it took quite a while. You can see how it's lagging. Moving this in was really painful. It took something around an hour. But we can now get going. As with all the other things we built with Litematica, we're first gonna go into layer mode. And now our task is to build all this terrain piece by piece, layer by layer. We can see here which blocks we need to place. All those blocks have been farmed, and at the beginning it's going to be a little tricky because the first blocks on this island are underwater. So that's something we've never done before, building underwater. So let's see how that goes. But now we can see which blocks are we going to need here. Smooth sandstone, sand, yeah, and stone of course. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of stone, a bit of sand, and a little bit of sandstone. And that's what we're going to use to start building the first layers. And the good thing is with Litematica, the correct block is always bought into the hotbar. So if there's smooth sandstone here, I just click and bam, it automatically gets into my hotbar, then I can place it. That definitely makes the whole thing a bit easier. Same goes for all the bone blocks. This makes placing such complex textures a bit easier. But yeah, it's still gonna take a while. Oh wait, that's right, we're also drowning the whole time. You drown all the time, constantly have to get new blocks, and are slower. Half the players had problems with the Litematica mod, or extreme lags, and we had to break some blocks underwater before we could place them, because the new terrain there is significantly flatter. The underwater part was incredibly exhausting, so we're just gonna skip that. Okay, we made it. We're finally completely out of the water now. Yo, look at this. Now you can really see the outlines of the island. That's gonna be it. Now you can see it got significantly larger than the outline we had at the beginning, especially right here at the volcano. Bro, it's pretty much twice as big now. And I think it's definitely gonna be a lot more chill now, especially around the whole beach. In some places, the support blocks were missing under the sand, and that's why the sand kept falling down. So we had to place some extra blocks there. So here you can see, there's a whole lot of stone blocks right here where the sand is, and sometimes they were missing. But yeah, we managed. It took us almost 10 hours just for this little water section. And it's done. The terrain is finished. Take a look at this. Bro, this is such an upgrade. Our farming district is looking so much cooler now. And we built all this within 3 days. And it's about to get more amazing, because now that the terrain is finally finished, we can focus on all the extras that will be added to the island that will make it look 1,000 times better. And the first thing we can do, I'd say, is something pretty simple actually. Right now, everything's still super smooth and looking rather unnatural. So let's go get some blocks like grass and stuff to place them, so it doesn't look that clean. So we have ferns, short grass, moss carpet, some flowers, mushrooms, and sugarcane. We can only place things on grass blocks, not on the concrete or terracotta stuff. We could do something like moss carpets here, but actually I'd almost say we shouldn't use the moss carpets at all, because they actually kinda ruin the color gradient. So maybe let's just put ferns and tufts of grass everywhere for now. And I mean, how long can it take to plant a little bit of grass everywhere? It can't take that long. Almost 2 hours later, we finally have all the grass everywhere. Bro, it took so long. But now there's a few sprouts of grass scattered everywhere, and that definitely makes it look much better, especially from up close. And where it also looks really good, I think, is here, where it transitions to the beach. There's a few more tufts of grass here, it just looks a little bit more natural. Then I filled the river and the cave with water, and afterwards started on what was probably the most important thing still missing, the trees. Because everywhere that's currently green, lots of jungle trees and plants are going to be planted so that a real little jungle will eventually grow here. Okay, that's what it looks like so far. I don't know, I'm not sure if it might just look a little bit too regular. I'm not really satisfied with it. I think I find the tree just a little bit too small. I don't know, maybe that's it. Or maybe not too small, but something about this tree is still bothering me. I think I'll spare you my 20-minute long speech about why I don't like the tree. The bottom line is, we're taking the tree down again. I think it might not be such a good idea to freestyle all the trees after all, especially since it took me 2 hours to do this one. So, just like we did with the terrain, we started designing the trees in creative mode, and that was so worth it. So, we've designed these 4 trees. It's already looking so much better than whatever we tried in survival. And we also already did the palm trees as well. 3 beautiful palm trees. Yeah, it's definitely worth pre-designing in creative mode, because especially with all these grass spots and stuff in survival, there's also a subtle gradient in the leaves and in the palm trees too, and I think the island is gonna look so much better with them. It was definitely worth it. So we're gonna switch back into survival and build the much better looking trees. Compared to this sad palm tree here on the island, ours are definitely a significant upgrade. And while Skipper and I were designing some things, the others actually managed to farm some of these materials as well. We got a little bit of glass in the trees, and all the other wood types have already been farmed here too. That means we can go ahead and start right away. And as you can see, we also need a few blocks. This is just one tree, almost 6,000 items, and it's not even the biggest one. For the big boy, we need 8,500 items. And I think the first thing we should do is mark all the spots where we want to plant the trees. 34 trees. I'm not really sure if we're going to need that many. It's really hard to judge right now. But I do think they're spaced alright. And actually we can already go ahead and place all these schematics on the wood markings. They were scanned all individually, and now we can go ahead and place them here piece by piece, just the way we need them. Then we can build tree after tree in the layer mode with all the materials. Bro, now take a look at this. Now that's what I call a jungle. Dude. Bro, this is gonna be so cool when we built all this. I mean, there's a few gaps in between, but it definitely looks like a real jungle. 6,000 blocks, 6,000 times, that was 21, right? So that makes 126,000 blocks that will be added again with all the trees here. So we set up a little storage area again to keep all the items nice and organized, which means we can now finally start with the trees. Do I not have any spruce wood? Wait, I got spruce wood, don't I? Oh no, I'm stupid. It's dark oak. Can you tell the difference between spruce and dark? Oh, we don't have any spruce. Oh, wait. Yeah, we do. Bro, no, wait. Now I definitely have it. This is spruce. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm pretty pumped. On the upper layers, we also have some glass panels and things like that, as you've seen, which looks pretty cool, but they'll be extremely painful to place. Curious to see how long one tree will take. Oh my god, guys, we did it! The palms and the trees are both finished. Boy, oh boy. Now, feast your eyes on how incredible this island looks now. It looks so much better now. Bro, that's a real jungle. At the beginning, when the trees were still there, it was a bit abrupt because suddenly there was a huge tree on the beach. But the palm trees make the transition a little smoother. So the only thing missing now are all the plants, and after that, we're gonna have a proper jungle in here. Here we can check out how it looks from a little further away. Yeah, that's pretty sick. But before we start planting anything, we're gonna have to take care of another very important thing on our island, meaning we have 10 different structures that we had planned to add to the island. We have 6 different jungle village huts. We have a little ship, a lighthouse, a jungle village temple, and a large pirate ship, which will probably be placed here at the beach. And in the meantime, while I designed the terrain on the island, the others designed these 10 structures, and in these chests we already have all the materials prepped for it as well. Bro, and now peep this. Look at how many items just the pirate ship alone has. 80,000 blocks just for the pirate ship. And with that, we could immediately start building all the structures on the island, which, because we had already pre-designed and farmed everything, went pretty quickly. But of course, we shouldn't forget the countless hours invested in creative mode beforehand to design all of this stuff. Which brings me to a confession which, well, I hope you weren't expecting. But the pirate ship was not designed by us. While trying to build the most beautiful pirate ship possible, we quickly found out that it's really not that easy. So I went ahead and bought this ship for 10 bucks on Patreon, but only because we've been using it as a reference the whole time. And the ship does look incredibly cool. So the credit here goes to JP Core, who designed this truly beautiful ship. Man, just look at that ship. Here it is. The ship took by far the longest to build. 80,000 blocks for this thing. Man, I think this ship is really so cool. I wouldn't usually consider not building something myself, but bro, this is just an awesome ship. This whole ship is basically a complete survival base floating on the ocean. Here, enchanters, chests, decoration everywhere, the complete storage. Dude, they even have crops in here. A carrot field and a wheat field. I think that's a ship from Pirates of the Caribbean with that gaping mouth at the front. The Flying Dutchman or something like that, I think. That's hella tough. So maybe we'll eventually tear this ship down and build our own at some point. It's kind of annoying that we didn't design it ourselves. I really would have loved to, because it's so tough. I think we probably could have managed to build that ship ourselves right here. Maybe even a better one. There goes my enormous ego again. But dude, it probably would have taken another 3 or 4 weeks until we had an awesome ship like this. So longer than the whole island. That's why we just took this one. But it looks really good here, I gotta say. All the other structures are also finished. There's a lighthouse. Here's our jungle village. It's also done, every single house, so it is starting to get pretty crowded here. But the structures we've built so far are far from everything that's coming to the island. Cause, let's be honest, it's still a little empty. The plants are gonna make a big difference, but before we worry about that, I wanted to build 2 other things. One of them is the treasure cave, for which we created a special area on the volcano, and the other thing, the most important thing on this island, the reason this place even exists, this portal, because this is the portal through which you get to this island, and that still needs to be properly integrated. It shouldn't stay like this. I mean, if we're already building such a crazy, elaborate, huge island, then we should get the portal here nice too. I'd say we can go ahead and split up, and everyone who wants to do the crystal cave can go to the left, and everyone who wants to do the portal can go to the right. Dude, now everybody's here. The portal's 10 blocks big. Alright guys, you know what? If nobody wants to work, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the portal myself. Then you'll all just do the cave. If you don't do it voluntarily, you'll be forced. That's the message here. The important thing is that it has to be roughly in the same spot. I definitely want to bring it down. So maybe here on the rocks? Or here. Here would be a pretty good spot, I think. Yeah, okay. It's looking pretty cool. That missing obsidian block is kind of triggering me. Oh, yeah, it looks good at that spot. It's looking like a proper main character portal. And my plan now is to build kind of like a stone frame around this portal. So maybe with like mossy cobblestones, just like the rocks, as if like the whole portal isn't made of obsidian, but like formed from these stones or something. That's the idea. And I definitely want to make sure it's not so square first off. So let's go ahead and build like a small frame with a stone so I can arrange these boulders I want to make here in a circle more easily later. Alright, is it a circle? I'd say it is. I'm thinking maybe it would be good if we switched the stone to a different block. And there we have our melon portal. Now we can go ahead and use the stone here for individual stone blocks. Okay, that's it so far. It's not quite the same style, but if we use the same textures as the rocks, it'll still be noticeable enough. I textured everything by hand, which takes forever without Axiom, and then I added some leaves, moss, and glowberries. And I'd say that's pretty much it. The portal looks pretty nice, doesn't it? It's gonna be really nicely camouflaged later when all the plants get added. And if you go onto the island now... Oh my god, it's even the right way around now. What? Earlier I was just looking at the wall. Oh my god, nice bro, we're looking exactly in the right direction. Cause bro, I really thought when we came out here, you would see this first instead of that. Then I'd say, let's go ahead and take a look what the others were doing while I was building the portal. In the last 2 hours, the others have been building the cave, the treasure cave. And now I'm really curious to see what they've cooked. And you know what? I'm actually gonna take a boat. Let's just imagine I'm a pirate going into the treasure cave to explore that thing. So we're getting the full experience. Oh, okay. Yeah, those are sick, those little crystal things. Also here on the wall. Oh, yeah, okay, that's cool. Oh, and the plants are awesome here. We gotta do that by the river as well, and maybe a little at the beach too. Oh, okay, damn, even with candles in the air. Not sure how I feel about those. I think that would look pretty sick with the shaders on. And here's the treasure. Yeah, that's cool. A big old pile of loot, even some diamond ores. I think there could even be a couple more of those crystals. What's this? Oh, a gold helmet. Yeah, that's cool. Dude, what is this? Bro, why is there Padme from Star Wars here? Ooh, and here's another ship. An old shipwreck left by the pirates who've already failed here. Yeah, looks pretty epic. turned out nice. Over the next 2 days, we built all the plants in the jungle and added some other details so that the individual elements of our island blend together even better. But I'd say just sit tight and let the final result speak for itself. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Bro, take a look at this. It's so full. And there are animals everywhere. The others already started bringing animals to the islands, pandas, frogs. Bro, how many frogs did he get? Now it's an actual proper jungle. Yo, how many frogs are down here, bro? What? Dude, what's going on? Dude, how did you get all these here? That's crazy. Now there's a whole lot of bamboo. There's a tons of bushes, vines growing up on the rocks, and some smaller trees as well. Here, some kind of larger brush. Just a whole lot of different kinds of plants to make this place look a little bit more crowded. I also try to make a little Venus flytrap thingy here, one of those snap together plants. Not sure if it worked out well, I guess it's okay. Yeah bro, but it's definitely a lot better. Now we got a really dense jungle. And I gotta say, I don't really think it's too full. You really have to find the right balance where it's crowded but not too crowded, because we still want to be able to walk through here, you know? That's why we still added a couple of paths here and there. I think up here at the jungle village, yeah, there's even a proper trail here with like lanterns and stuff, so you can still move around. Here's a statue. There's also a wooden statue over here that I think is pretty cool. Tom Brick built it. It's like a kind of a villager wooden statue. We also have it in stone. Bro, we even have like parrots and stuff everywhere. Damn. Yeah, I gotta say, all the animals really make this place. Here, oh, dude, what's that? Bro, what are you doing with that panda? No, please don't take me, I'm being kidnapped. And here's a, bro, he even walked all the way here. Sniffer just realized, bro, he just realized, shit, I'm on an island, I'm never gonna get off here. And now he's slowly trudging back. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro, you're not getting down from here. No, now he's really hunching his head down. He's really sad. Bro, I'm sorry. No. And so, another incredible project comes to an end. I would usually say it took months of work or something like that, but it took us less than 4 weeks to transform the Mushroom Island from the beginning into this 1 million block paradise island. And at least I'm more than satisfied with the result. And I realized that again when I looked at the island with shaders. But I'd say we'll make it a little bit more epic for you guys. Be sure to subscribe for free so you don't miss any new videos, leave a like, and this is our tropical island.